It is such a pleasure for me to be back here among so many old friends, especially from WOLA. Joy and Eric, thank you for having me. Ambassador Sarkhan, it's great to see you. And Lori Freeman, can you please stand up? Because we did steal Lori from WOLA, and she's the reason that we won that silly prize. She really is. She's the smartest person. She was certainly the smartest person working in our office, I'll tell you that. WOLA is an organization whose dedication to social justice and human rights has always inspired me professionally and personally. As a foreign correspondent, I tried to dedicate myself to giving voices to the voiceless. And I know that's a cliche, but we really tried to do it. We tried to give a little bit of power to people who didn't have any. There was nothing more exciting and satisfying to me than going into some little village a million miles from nowhere and meeting the people there and having them tell me their stories, and then being able to broadcast that to millions of people on the front page of the Washington Post all around the world. It's a wonderful feeling. And Ambulante does that to the 10th power. I mean, they take this much, much further. They take their films and their training programs on the road and into these little communities where these things are unheard of. The ignored are suddenly right in focus, and the isolated suddenly have a chance to tell their stories to the world, and hopefully to inspire people to action. Ambulante uses documentaries as a tool for change. The Ambulante Film Festival travels to more than 100 venues throughout Mexico. It invites people to participate in outdoor screenings, workshops, and discussions about the real problems that are facing real Mexicans. This is totally authentic work. Gail and I were talking about this before. This is work that is just incredibly important. It's so wonderful to see it honored here tonight. Ambulante Beyond spreads that even farther, going throughout Central America and giving filmmakers there the skills they need to tell the stories of their communities and their countries. No one here needs me to tell them how important the issue of migration is to the lives of millions of people, and Ambulante has placed that absolutely front and center. During the summer of 2010, Ambulante organized a documentary tour called Travesias, which took them across areas of high migration in Mexico and Central America. And there they did the same thing. They organized discussions among filmmakers, community leaders, migration experts, and trying to shed new light on this incredibly urgent problem. Ambulante also designed and distributes something they call the Migrant Passport, which includes a list of migrant rights that people can expect and directories of organizations and shelters that aid migrants. Gael Garcia Bernal and Diego Luna founded, along with producer Pablo Cruz, founded Ambulante in 2005. And they did it in the belief that documentaries shape the way we perceive reality, that they encourage us to look beyond borders, they inspire us to reimagine the way the future can be. By sharing their skills and the tools of documentary filmmaking, they have empowered people, even the most voiceless and powerless among us. I'm incredibly proud to present Ambulante, represented by its founders and by Executive Director Elena Fortes, with the WOLA 2011 Human Rights Award for bringing the power of documentary film to places where they are rarely seen, and for inspiring people to tell stories that make a difference. Felicidades.
we're also very grateful to WOLA, to Joy Olson, Cristel, and the whole team. If you can raise your hands. We're sorry for giving you nightmares all last week, but we're really moved to be here and accept this award. And I also promise to be brief because I know you're starving. I'm actually happy you have bread on the table, but I'll try to be brief with my speech. In the past decade, the world has become increasingly violent and extremist. We have witnessed the collapse of structures that we once believed to be indestructible. The financial system, the environment, national security, in some cases even the state. And at the same time, the proliferation of communication technologies has led us, paradoxically, to an increasingly impersonal, solitary, and abstract realm. A world of statistics that seem to acquire more value as they move further away from what they are supposed to represent. Mexico has not remained unaffected by this new world order. Violence, corruption, impunity, and discrimination have become more pervasive than ever, and continue to be backed by a severely deficient justice system that cannot guarantee the accountability of crimes and abuses committed by both state and non-state actors. Thousands have been forced to abandon their family and their community in search for a better future, and have in turn met all sorts of unimaginable perils in their journey. On a positive note, however, this instability has been offset by the rise of powerful social movements across the world, which remain free from manipulative undertones and are carried out for the most part by civilians who are no longer willing to put up with the current state of affairs. These movements have brought us back from our numbness to a reality that we feel capable of intervening. They have recovered the human dimension that lies behind the statistics. To this end, and we are thankful for this, WOLA has played a fundamental role throughout its history by articulating the relationship of non-governmental actors all across Latin America with policymakers, thereby strengthening their capacity to work together in order to generate change. In view of this global context, it is important that we allow ourselves to be shaken and confronted by images that can propel us beyond our comfortable milieu into the reality of our surroundings. Images that allow us to adopt a critical standpoint towards the world and to recover that which unites us to the rest of humanity. When I joined Ambulante, it was a single extraordinary idea conceived by Gael, Diego, and Pablo during a discussion on how to bring documentaries and stories back to where they were born and back to their source of inspiration. At the same time, and to this day, almost all traditional communication channels were largely monopolized. Since then, our main challenge has been to develop strategies that can effectively share these stories with a wider audience, and in doing so, contribute to transform our relationship to the world and our role within it. The nature and spirit of Ambulante is to extend beyond borders, geographical, cultural, social, and political. Ambulante is in itself a migrant organization. It is sustained by the creation of innovative networks with other industries, other audiences, and a diverse array of partners from different sectors that share our vision and contribute to extend our reach. In the past 6 years, Ambulante has grown beyond the execution of the Traveling Film Festival in order to develop training and funding opportunities for documentary filmmakers in the region. Our priority has been to form strategic partnerships with organizations that can integrate documentary film into their advocacy work and elevate the impact of the films within a broader social network framework. We work at a grassroots level by promoting both the production and the exhibition of documentary films in the region, and then carry this work further by distributing these films across a variety of social and geographical spheres. Our success has been largely due to our capacity to work with many actors and to target multiple audiences throughout the entire process. The impulse to capture reality on film is what has continuously infused filmmaking, with the potential to find new forms of expression, new forms of storytelling, and new ways to renew and redefine its language. This impulse is born from a constant exchange and cannot survive in a vacuum. Likewise, the nature of our work must be equally collaborative, so that we are able to construct a more just society, to respond to extremism and violence with openness, to abandon abstraction and move closer to humanity, and adopting WOLA's own mandate to give a voice to the voiceless. We must continue to create and share stories that are able to transform the old ones and give rise to new ones. Thank you, and thank you, Diego, Gael, Caro, Julian, everybody.